Welcome back to the Googan Lab. We are down here in Florida, early spring, and I've got the brand new Googan bait Lizard on here. Now I want to tell you some situations where these lizards are going to be great. And probably the one that everyone thinks about is the early season. Bass are starting to move up, get into the shallow water, and you know, I personally haven't seen a whole lot of salamanders in lakes with my naked eye, but there is something about this profile. Fish just think it's something that's gonna get in their nest, that they're when they're making beds, and it's a super aggressive bite. Other than that, it's just a fantastic creature bait too. So this is a 7-inch bait, got those appendages on it. You can fish it like a worm, and what we're doing out here in Florida this time of year is these fish are starting to move up on the bank, getting ready to spawn, and we're just throwing it around the reed edges and any banks that look good where they're going to come up, sun themselves, get ready to spawn, and just drag it. You know, not do a big hoppy motion. This bait really does a lot of work slow. These appendages on here, these V-ridge appendages, work great slow, especially that tail being as long as it is and having that V-ridge on the tip. So we're just going to go down the bank right here, fishing the Texas rig, and just go slow with it. There's one. Oh my gosh. Golly, these fish are strong. There's a male bass right there. He's just moving up. He's starting to get aggressive. And I pitched up towards the reeds, but a lot of these male bass, they're sort of following it out, and they're just kind of cruising the edges, so it makes it a perfect spot to drag a bait. And the lizard is just fantastic bait. Go make some big Florida babies. Get another lizard out. So I'm rigging this Texas style, which is a great way to rig it. Just dragging the bottom, you could pitch, you know, stumps, reeds, but really I'm using this for a dragging technique in this instance. And this is great in the spring when fish are moving up. It's also a very good bed fishing bait. So whether you know you're fishing beds or not, if you think there's some bass spawning up there, it's a great bait to throw. Actually, my first bass over 9 pounds came on a lizard many years ago. But after they get done spawning, it's also a really good post-spawn bait for you to put on a Carolina rig. Bass start to move out on points, things like that. You know, creature baits are good for Carolina rigs, but a lizard is a really low profile. It almost has like a worm profile, so you get really great hookups. And this has a lot of appendages on it, so it moves a lot of water, but it also stays up there as you're moving it. It doesn't just sink to the bottom right away. So it's a fantastic bait to get out a little deeper water and just drag with a, you know, half-ounce weight with a, you know, 2-foot leader on there, and get some big bass in the summertime. As far as the hardware goes, fishing this, you know, usually when I'm fishing a lizard, I'm in the south, I'm fishing around some cover, so I'm gonna beef up my line a little bit. I've got 20-pound fluorocarbon, and I'm fishing this Texas rig 3/8 ounce. You could go lighter, but I've got it pegged for fishing around some of this cover. And then I'm throwing this on a muscle rod. So I never know when Big Sally is gonna get angry at a salamander and I need the extra beef. So I got it on our muscle rod and then a fast gear ratio reel. A lot of this lake that we're on has some deep edges, and oh goodness, missed him on that first part of that hook set. This is fun. This is fun. They're literally moving up right now as I'm talking. But this is a sunny bank. It gets a lot of sun, so it's warming up. It's protected from the rest of the lake, so they don't have to worry about a lot of waves and stuff like that hitting their beds. And then the bank just kind of slopes. It's a gradual slope, so it's not real steep. So it's almost like a 45-degree angle, and bass love that type of bank to move up in the early spring and spawn on. So a lot of these fish are the buck bass. We call them buck bass, you know, 2 pounds or so under. They're moving up into the reeds and just in front of it right now to make beds. but these female bass are just off a little bit on these ledges. So I'm throwing my bait up there, but then I'm working the lizard out towards that ledge, because the bigger bass, the females, are probably going to be just hanging right on that edge, waiting to move up. So it's time to just go slow with the lizard. Wait for that big thump. All right, we're going to continue dragging out here, trying to get that big one. But get yourself some slizzards, throw them on Texas rig, Carolina rig. Maybe you'll find another way that's awesome, classic bait that we redesigned that I think you're gonna love. So link down in the description, get you some. We'll see you on the next Googan Lab.